kind of a defensive slog there early. They had a lot of length. What kind of changed things? Because Duffy hits a couple threes, and all of a sudden it's a 15-4 run before half. Is that kind of what changed things? Kind of just those couple threes right there, did that kind of draw the defense out a little bit more? Or?
I mean, I think, they packed it in like you guys saw, and part of our offense is attacking the lane. So I think it was just sort of an adjustment in, the first couple quarters of still moving the ball and getting good shots.
How do you feel you guys adjusted to their size?
We knew coming in that they were going to be a strong and athletic team. So our scout guys during practice did a good job imitating that. And I think we were really prepared. It's kind of a shock at first when you come in and just see how tall they really are, but we were ready for it.
How's it been adjusting with these teams you guys have played usually pretty close together? How's it been trying to adjust to each different style?
For me? I think, like Coach P says, every game is important, but not one is more important than the other. So I think, in practice every day, just focusing on the next game and not 2 or 3 games ahead has been a big thing for us. So I think by doing that, we've been able to adjust to each team as we needed to.
Have you guys spent, I think it's 5 days off between games? How did you spend this? Was it a lot of just rest and recharging, or did you get after it a little bit more in the gym?
We took an off day after our last game, and then the practice after that, we definitely got after it. There were things that we wanted to clean up. We call it an us day, so we took that day to really improve what we needed to fix, and then we dove right into Mizzou and what they do and started honing in on defensively what we needed to do.
With that day that you used to focus on yourself, what sort of things were you looking to clean up?
I think always we can get better on the defensive end, and I think we've been in a lot of close games where defense could have been the thing that carried us through, but we had some breakdowns, so that's definitely been something we're focusing on.
How do you feel the defense did today? I mean, Taylor, you mentioned focus on what you need to do defensively. What are the keys here? Because it seemed like they hit a few threes early in the game. That really seemed their only offense throughout the game. What did you kind of see to slow them down in this game?
I think communication was a big thing, and just trusting in one another, just knowing who's got help side, knowing what they're trying to do, and I think we really understood the scout and knew what we needed to do to stop them, and I think we executed, for the most part, pretty well.
You mentioned, you girls mentioned the length earlier, adjusting to that. Was that a big thing early? Is that something that took a little bit of time? It seemed right off the bat you were slowing them down even with their length.
We've played quite a few teams this season already with a lot of length, so it's definitely something we're used to doing. It's just making the adjustments because each team is different, so yeah.
Monica, these last few games, career highs for you. Last game, this game, really key shot against Drake. What's kind of changed these last few games or even this year for you?
I have to give all credit to my teammates and coaches. I mean, each one of them has given me the confidence to, be in some of those situations. But even, having 5 girls on the court at all times who can play and, have to draw out their defensive player, I think that's just the biggest thing for our team right now is everybody demands attention on defense. So, it doesn't matter what night it is, somebody can go off, and I think that's a huge testament to our team.
Monica, a lot of close games. This was not a close game. But overall, playing close games just by themselves, can it help you as the season goes on to be in those situations and develop some confidence in those situations?
Oh, for sure. I think the coaches do a really good job preparing our schedule with some harder games earlier in the season. So, later, maybe hopefully in March, if we get into a situation like that, we can have the composure to calm down and be like, yeah, we've been here several times, and, hopefully come out on top in some of those games later down.
Duffy, there was no attempt here to tighten this one up so that we could get some more benefits from that sort of situation?
What?
Did you try and throw the game to get more close key situations?
It was kind of nice to have one that wasn't close. I think even to prove to ourselves that we can do it, because there's one thing to win games, but then there's another to sort of separate yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think this game was a good test for us to be able to do that.
Well, first of all, I'm just really proud of our young ladies that they played with an incredible amount of intensity, an incredible amount of urgency, played with some very good poise. It was a great crowd. It was a fun basketball game, and I thought our fans gave us a lot of a big boost and a lot of energy on the defensive end of things. In the second half, I think it was very difficult for both teams to communicate because our fans were really loud, and that was a great atmosphere, certainly, to be a part of. So we're really fortunate to have an SEC team come to the SCSE and play. And I think they're a very, very good team, a young team, and they're going to figure it out. But we're thankful that they came here and we had an opportunity to play. And a great learning opportunity for our young ladies, because now the next game, and I know we're not going to talk about that quite yet, but our next game is an incredible challenge again with Missouri State. So we've got to continue getting better, and I think this game will help us with that.
Coach, the season's still young for you guys. You've been traveling a lot, had some very quality opponents so far. What's the one thing you've taken from these first few games or that you've kind of learned about this group already?
Well, I've learned that they have a great deal of toughness, to endure the travel that we've had so far, and the quality of opponents and the physicality and all those kind of things. I think our players have a lot of toughness and have a lot of resilience to them.
You held them to 35% from the field. What do you feel like you did well tonight?
Well, I thought our players, we struggled early in the first half with getting out to shooters, and we missed a couple. I think we missed Haley Frank in transition on one. She cut underneath the basket. We missed in some ball screens, late shot clock. We helped, and they kicked it to kids who got some wide open shots, or we didn't come up high enough on the ball screen, and they hit it behind it. So thought we cleaned up some of that in the second half, and that certainly helped us. So that our players, in the first half, could hear our bench helping them communicate. In the second half, they couldn't hear us, so I thought they just did a great job defensively of helping each other, trusting each other, and finishing plays.
How pleased are you with your bench play, especially in the first quarter?
I thought they did a great job. I thought we got some really, really important minutes during the course of that game from our bench. Claudia Kunzer came in, gave us some very big minutes. Liv Korngable, Taylor Frederick, and Janai Ugowski. I thought those young ladies really got us kind of going again, so that was really important and really important for us that going forward.
How comfortable are you with them when your starters kind of struggle like in the first quarter?
Well, I think they have an opportunity to kind of see the game and see what's going on, and I thought they have great intensity and great energy, and so it's a huge boost for us, and I think it gives us an opportunity to get some rest. That game was a fast-paced game. You have two teams that really score the ball efficiently. I think we both averaged about 82, 83 points a game. Both teams shot 25 arc shots coming into this a game. Both teams got to the free throw line 25 times. So we were kind of mirror images of each other offensively, and a lot of it starts in transition. And so, the pace of the game was really elevated early on, and we wanted to continue to push that pace right along with them. And so to do that, we needed to get some really important minutes, and we did. I thought those kids gave us huge minutes and really gave us a big boost.
Duffy's three-pointers. Missouri was up by about 3-5 points on there. Off the top of my head. And she hits a three. Come back down. She hits another three. And the defense, is sitting back and is waiting for the drives in. Those two threes seemed to open up the game.
Right.
You end the first half on a nice run after that. And how big were those two threes?
Well, not only were they big shots to give us some momentum and give us some confidence, but they were tough shots. They were deep threes. And, Kira is one of those kids who has the ability to not only take the shot and make the shot, it's a good shot. It's a high percentage shot for her and for our team. And so it did really help us. Our movement wasn't very good early on in the game, and I thought it got better. Our offensive movement got better as the game went on. Late in the game, we had to understand, I think it was about 5 minutes ago with the media timeout, we had a little talk about the fact that we're the team that was ahead. We don't have to push the tempo at this point in time, but they're going to attack us. We need to move the ball, swing the ball, and then try to get a good shot late. And sometimes that's really hard to do. And I thought our players did a good job with Missouri mixing up their defenses, a 1-3-1, a 2-3, trap the first pass. I thought our players did a really good job of recognizing, understanding, taking care of the ball in those situations. It would have been nice to get some more get some more offensive rebounds, certainly, but I think you're playing against an opponent who makes that really difficult. You know, they're tough, they're athletic, they've got good size, they're well coached. It's tough to get offensive rebounds against some teams, and they're one of the teams that is pretty challenging. Plus, they force the tempo of the game too, and so, you know, we're also trying to make sure that we're in a position that we can get back and defend them.
Monica Martin, she's had some big moments, like career high today, coming off a game where she had a career high. Sends the game to overtime against Drake as well. These last 3 games, it's been kind of a Monica Martin's breakout.
It has. Monica's playing extremely well. She's playing extremely hard, and we count on her an awful lot defensively at the same time. And, you know, I think she's continuing to get more and more comfortable and more confident, and is just making some really good reads.
And you mentioned before the season, you know, Allison Arms, those are some big minutes to make up
Right.
for, and everyone was going to have to do it. How much has Monica kind of taken on, not fully that role, but parts of that role, and really, I don't say embrace that role?
Well, we've talked about when Allison graduated that we couldn't replace that spot with one player, that everybody needed to really raise the level of their game, and I think all of our young ladies have done that, and they could go down the board and name all 14 of our players right now. You know, we have 13 because one isn't able to play quite yet, and Alexi Hempy, and she's getting closer, so that's exciting. But I could go through every one of our players, and they're getting better, they're improving. And so I think, you know, our young ladies, and Monica certainly is one of them, who has embraced the fact that they all need to improve to take care of the ball and really make good decisions and get stops. And Allison just did so many things for us that we need a lot of players to raise the level of their game, and our young ladies have done that, I believe.
The girls talked about taking a day to focus on themselves and improve defensively. What sort of things specifically are you guys looking to tighten up?
Oh, we had to tighten up an awful lot of things. We weren't very good defensively in a couple of our games so far this year, and so it was the first time that we've had 3 days to prepare, and we didn't use all 3 days to prepare for Missouri because we took a day to actually focus on who we are and what our identity needs to be. And we said going into this game that we weren't focused on the outcome of this game. We were focused on who we need to be in order to keep getting better. And so, you know, we look at fighting through some screens differently, fighting being better at keeping the ball away from the basket, you know, some simple things, but very important things for us.
Against a big, long, athletic team, you only had 10 turnovers
Right.
on pretty efficient offensive performance.
Well, I thought we did a good job, especially late in the game, of understanding how to move the ball against them, how to space the floor. Their pressure can cause problems for you, and it has for some of their opponents. And I think our players did a great job of you know, taking care of it, handling it. As a matter of fact, one of them made a recommendation to me at one of the timeouts about how they wanted to space the floor differently, and I said, that's a really good suggestion, we'll do that, good idea. So I think our young ladies are really, did a good job of understanding and handling it.
Looked like Hannah was ready to fire that three-pointer. She had a couple looks there and passed it off, but then that third one, she made sure she made it count.
That's exactly right. Yeah, she had one at the end of, I think it was the end of a quarter, and we were trying to take the last shot. Must have been the end of the third quarter, because I feel like it was in front of our bench, and we were all yelling no at that point in time because we didn't want to shoot it quite yet. And so I think she took one that was a little bit later in the shot clock, and it was a great shot. So and she can shoot. You know, she is a good shooter for us. So I thought she just played really hard. I thought she played really well. You know, Missouri's a team that plays a motion offense, runs a motion offense, and you know, Hannah had the job of guarding a lot of different kids on the perimeter. She asked some really good questions in prepping for the game, things that we as coaches said, yeah, I guess we didn't talk about that. We haven't practiced that with Hannah specifically. But, you know, to guard Hannah shoots and a kid that's one of the best three-point shooters percentage-wise in the nation right now. And that's out of Hannah's comfort zone a little bit, but she has to continue working on that, and I thought she did that tonight. I thought she did a really nice job.
This schedule, you mentioned it during, you know, Summit League Media Day. You mentioned you've done a very challenging schedule. It seems like you've gotten tougher as you look at it. Just how tough has the schedule been? How well have the girls navigated this schedule?
Well, obviously, they've done really well, and the schedule is incredibly challenging, and it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't. Now we play a ranked team, so you start off on the road against Northeastern, and you're playing in front of 1,000 screaming kids on their home opener, and then we come home, and then we go out to Green Bay for their home opener. Really, really tough place, a team that's picked to win their league. We come back home and we play Drake, who I think Drake is just a phenomenal team, man. We couldn't guard them at all, and I'm not sure if we would have had a couple more days to prep that we would have been much better at it. They're just really, really talented, really good, really disciplined. You know, they're picked to win their league. Then we go back on the road to a Pac-12 team for their home opener. Tough challenge for us. Come back home and play an SEC team, and now our reward is we get to play maybe, according to rankings, the best team, and I think they are. They're tough. Missouri State is really, really tough, you know, so it is. It's one game at a time, but man, it's been a challenge. So, you know, we certainly will enjoy a day off tomorrow and then time to get ready for another very, very good opponent, and one that, you know, can really score. They've challenged themselves too. Their schedule has been incredibly tough, and they've done incredibly well. Go ahead.
A lot of close games this year, not tonight, but number one, what does it say about your team? And number two, are there any potential long-term benefits to just having gone through that experience and ended up, you know, with a positive outcome?
Well, I think there are a lot of benefits potentially from that type of a scenario. Our kids, you know, show that they can play good basketball, play tough, make plays. We've been in situations where we've been behind. We've been in situations where we've been ahead. I did tell our players afterwards it's kind of nice to finish a game in regulation and come out on top. That's a good feeling, you know. Takes a little stress off of that situation. But I think their understanding has been great. I think their poise has been great, but their desire and their trust and their love for each other has been incredible. And so it's something that, you know, we have to continue to build upon. We've got to continue to get better because, like we talked about, the schedule continues to be challenging for us. But certainly I think there's a lot of positive things that we can take away from that.
Well, them being 5-0 right now with this change.
Right, it is. It's something that, you know, I've talked about this before, but our administration was very supportive of us trying to find ways to, you know, to get some quality opponents to come to Vermillion. We're thankful that we had an opportunity to bring an SEC team here. It's been a challenge. You know, strengthening our schedule is something that you hope that your team is prepared for, and our team has done really well with it. You know, so it's something that, you know, we are excited to continue to learn, and it just feels better when you get to learn after you've been successful.
If there is a game where you're seeing a lot of three-point shots in the air, are you getting more comfortable with that? We've seen 2 home games. You were able to cool off Drake for a half, and now you cool off Missouri in a half from 3. Is your team and your staff pretty comfortable with the fact that if there's going to be a lot of three-point shots, you like your chances?
Well, I think the game of women's basketball has a lot of teams who shoot the ball quite a bit from the arc and shoot it well from the arc. And our conference has been a conference that has been one of the best. Last year we had 5 teams in the top 34 in the nation in three-pointers made. So playing against teams in our non-conference that hunt arc shots and shoot it well is something that will help prepare us because we'll have seen different ways teams get those and at least practice against that, against very good teams. And so we hope that helps us be prepared when we get to Summit League action because, like I said, there are a lot of teams that shoot it, and they shoot it a lot, you know. So what we want to try to do is make those contested arc shots, and unfortunately we can't get to a point where we can test all of them, you know, so you know, we've got to do the best that we can. But women's basketball is a fun game to watch in that regard because there are a lot of teams that really shoot it quite a bit and shoot it well.